In the early 1900s, during the First World War, there was a groundswell of black people filled with despair. By the direction of God, the founders of New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church chose to head for the promise of a better life in the North, along with an estimated 500,000 other Negroes. The Great Migration from the South to the North was on. One of the people that migrated from the South was E.A. Bentley. Records are sketchy, but it is believed that Mr. Bentley was a deacon at a church in Alabama. By the grace of God, he ended up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this is where our story begins. God gave Deacon Bentley the idea for a church. He had the ability to motivate 9 believers in Jesus Christ who followed the direction of the Holy Spirit. Since 1919, there have been 9 anointed souls chosen to lead the flock. 4 of the pastors that led the longest are Reverend W.M. Farrell, who served for 15 years, Reverend A.L. Collins, who served for 20 years, Reverend T.L. Lane, who served for 29 years, and currently Pastor Damon Lynch III, who has served for the past 29 years. New Prospect is a church of service dedicated to community outreach. We have provided disaster relief and marched for civil rights, quenching thirst and feeding bodies as well as souls, traveling the world, ministering outside the walls of the physical church. New Prospect has done wonders with the last 100 years. A church that is always focused on a true sense of family. It is a spiritual home and a house of comfort for those to fellowship with people from all walks of life. In these 100 years, buildings have been purchased and sold. Ministries were started and souls were saved. More ministries, more space, more souls. Over the years, the church has called many locations home, from Guest Street to Clinton Street to 1829 Elm Street at 2 different times. Now they call 1580 Summit Road home. New Prospect has created an oasis in the middle of the city by taking an abandoned site with 22 acres of land in the Roseline community of Cincinnati with a community center, in order to provide a location with programming that will enhance lives. There are over 20 ministries dedicated to enriching spiritual growth and enhancing our church fellowship for men, women, and children. We seek to be the village well, the one place in the community that is essential to all life. As Pastor Lynch has said, 100, what a milestone for this great church. She has weathered the storms and winds of change and is still standing as a beacon of hope in an ever-changing world. God has guided our path with love and grace, for which we give Him praise and thanks. Over the past 100 years, we have been blessed to do great works for the city of Cincinnati and our country, and we will continue for years to come.